Santos, que prazer revê-lo.
What are you...
To your principal.
A hit squad just walked into this restaurant. Every one of them is here to capture the man at the corner table, the one calmly drinking coffee with the best view of the sea. There is just one problem. That man is supposed to be dead, and he is the single worst person on earth to ambush. His name is Arthur Bishop. He arms a bomb inside his own house every morning before breakfast, and in the next 20 minutes, he will poison a warlord inside a prison, surrounded by sharks, drop a billionaire 58 floors out of his own swimming pool, and chain the brother he grew up with to an exploding boat. But the person who forces him to do all of it? A woman who begged not to. And her reason will break your heart. This is Mechanic Resurrection. Let's get into it. At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Bishop living the dream, just hours before that restaurant becomes a war zone. He is anchored off a sunny bay in Rio, and every morning is the same peaceful ritual. Wake up slowly, brew the coffee, let his favorite music play while the water rocks the boat. Years ago, this man was the deadliest contract killer alive. He was so good that his victims never even looked like victims. Every death looked like an accident, a heart attack, fate. Then he faked his own death, erased himself, and vanished. At least, that is the story. Because remember that bomb I mentioned? Watch him arm it right now, before stepping off the boat. It is not paranoia. In Bishop's world, if somebody comes looking for you, they are coming to make sure you never wake up again. Keep your eye on that bomb. It matters very soon. Bishop rides his motorcycle to a restaurant on the cliffs where everybody knows his face, and the staff walk him to the best table in the house. The exact table you saw at the start of this video, because this is where it all begins. A woman walks in. Her name is Renee, and she sits down across from him and destroys the peace of that entire scene with one sentence. She has been searching for him for a very long time. Think about that. Bishop is supposed to be dead, so how did this stranger find him at his favorite lunch table? Renee gets straight to business. Her boss wants 3 people dead, and every death must look completely natural. Accidents, heart attacks, nothing that points back to anybody. She even compliments him while threatening him. This should not be hard, because making murder look like fate is exactly what made him a legend. And when Bishop refuses, she drops the hammer, cooperate, or she exposes him to every enemy on earth who believes Arthur Bishop is dead. But while she talks, Bishop is not panicking. He is counting. His eyes sweep the room, and he has already spotted them. The hit squad from the start of this video, sitting a few tables away with murder in their eyes. This was never a negotiation. It was an ambush. And now you will see why I told you he is the worst person on earth to ambush. Bishop calmly asks to make a phone call. She allows it. He pulls out his phone, and instead of dialing, he snaps a photo of her face. Hold on to that photo. It is the reason this entire movie happens. The second Renee reaches for her weapon, Bishop shuts her down before her hand even clears the table. Her crew comes flying at him, and he takes them apart one by one. The furniture, the walls, the angles. Every strike calculated, every movement perfect. Then he glances at a security monitor. Dozens more are flooding in from outside. So he does not fight. He runs. He launches himself clean over the restaurant wall and lands on top of a cable car gliding high above the bay. Renee loads her men into the cable car, and they tear through the terrified tourists, checking every face. And the whole time, he is not inside. He is on the roof, right above their heads. When she figures it out, she fires straight up through the ceiling and climbs after him. Trapped hundreds of feet in the air with nowhere left to go, Bishop does the unthinkable. He lets go. He falls out of the sky, lands on a tourist paraglider, and sails away like he simply decided the day was over. An entire hit squad escaped without firing a single shot. But Bishop knows what comes next. That night, instead of walking home, he watches his boat from the shadows. And sure enough, 2 intruders are already on board, tearing his life apart. Remember that bomb from this morning? He pulls out his phone, presses one button, and his entire home erupts into a fireball with them still inside. Then he opens a shipping container he prepared years ago and burns everything. His passport, his documents, every thread of his identity. And watching him, you realize something chilling. This is not his first time. He has a routine for disappearing. Bishop resurfaces on a quiet island in Thailand, at a beach hotel owned by May, an old friend, and one of the only people alive he trusts. Alone in his old room, he opens a hidden compartment in the wall and pulls out a bag he hid years ago. Burner phones, weapons, cash, passports. Then he runs that restaurant photo. Renee Tran, and she works for a man named Crain. Watch Bishop's face when he reads that name. This is not business. This is personal. And what you are about to learn about these two men is darker than anything you are guessing. Now the movie cuts to a different woman arriving at the very same hotel. Her name is Gina. She asks May for a first aid kit, and May notices what she is hiding. Dark bruises covering her arm. Somebody has been hurting her. Gina refuses help, takes the kit, and hurries back to a yacht anchored offshore. That night, May sees the man on that yacht violently beating Gina, and she runs to the one person on the island who can stop it. Bishop wants nothing to do with it. He is in hiding. But deep down, he was never a man who could watch an innocent person suffer. Keep that sentence in mind. Somebody else knows that about him too. Bishop boards the yacht and gives one warning. Walk away. The man laughs and reaches for his gun. The last mistake of his life. Bishop puts him down and sends Gina back to May. But before leaving, he searches the boat. He finds her passport, her phone, and saved on that phone is a photograph of him. His blood runs cold. The bruises, the beating, the damsel in distress. It was bait, a trap built specifically for a man who cannot ignore an innocent person in danger, and he walked straight into it. He blows the yacht sky high and storms back to confront her, and Gina confesses everything. Yes, all of it was staged, designed by Crain himself. Her mission was simple. Get close. Make contact. Dial a number. Done. But before you judge her, hear why. Gina runs a shelter in Cambodia for children rescued from human trafficking. Those kids are her entire world, and Crain found out. His offer was simple. Help trap Bishop, or every one of those children dies. That is the leash around her neck. Not money, not her own life. Those kids. Then Bishop reveals his secret, the history that explains this whole movie. As a child, he was an orphan, and he was sold, purchased, alongside another boy, by a crime lord who raised children into killers. That other boy was Crain. One day, Bishop escaped. Crain did not. And because their owners believed Crain helped him, they punished the boy who stayed behind. Brutally. Every scar Crain carries, he blames on Arthur Bishop. The man hunting him is not a rival. He is the brother he left behind, with 30 years of revenge in his heart. Bishop spots a boat offshore full of men watching the island. Crain's surveillance. So he tells Gina to keep playing her role. Walk the beach with him. Let them believe the trap is working. And here is the beautiful irony. Somewhere inside that fake romance, something real leaks through. She makes him laugh, and you can tell from his face it is the first time in years. He tells her things he has never said out loud. Two broken people, trapped by the same monster, genuinely falling for each other, and neither of them saw it coming. Bishop gives her his watch as a promise. Hold on to it until we meet again, and he starts planning their escape. Remember this moment, because it is about to make everything that follows hurt. But Crain moves first. The next morning, his men storm the island and take Gina. Bishop demands a face-to-face meeting, and Crain lays out the deal. Gina lives. After 3 men are erased, with each death looking natural. Because these targets are so untouchable, an obvious murder would start wars. Then Crain hands him something disturbing, a GPS capsule to swallow after each kill, so his people can track him and pull him out. Proof of life? 1 video call after every kill, her location, only after the 3rd. 3 jobs, 1 woman's life, and a man who has hated Bishop for decades holding the clock. Target 1, an African warlord named Krill, the man who assassinated the president of Liberia. He is locked in a maximum security prison in the middle of the ocean, in shark-infested water, surrounded by cliffs 100 meters high. Nobody breaks in, nobody breaks out. So how do you kill a man in the most secure facility on the planet and make it look natural? Bishop's answer is genius and insane. He does not break in. He gets arrested. He finds a wanted criminal with a unique tattoo on his face, recreates it on his own face, forges the man's identity, and walks down the street until the police grab him. Within a day, he is shipped to the exact fortress holding his target. Inside, Bishop sees the problem. Krill is never alone. He has a wall of loyal muscle around him, because half the prison has tried to kill him and failed. So Bishop uses that. When an inmate makes a run at Krill in the yard, Bishop saves his life. Instantly, the most paranoid man in the building has a new best friend, and he invites his savior to a private dinner. Huge mistake. That dinner is where Krill dies. And when they find the body, it looks like food poisoning. Bad luck. A completely natural death. Now the escape. And this is where it gets ridiculous in the best way. Bishop blows a hole in the prison wall, coats his body in shark repellent. This man planned for the sharks. I do not even plan my breakfast. Then he swallows the GPS capsule and dives off a 100-meter cliff into open water. Crain's boat picks up the signal. One down. But here is the thing. That prison? That was the easy one. Because the next name on the list cannot be reached by getting arrested, and the one after that has killed everyone who has ever tried. On the promised video call, Gina delivers terrifying news. 36 hours to kill Target 2, or Crain executes her. Bishop looks her dead in the eyes. Nobody is going to touch you. Not while I am breathing. Target 2. Adrian Cook, a billionaire hiding behind a mining empire, whose real fortune comes from human trafficking. The same evil Gina's children escaped. He lives on the 58th floor of a Sydney skyscraper. Reinforced concrete, bulletproof doors, fingerprint locks, sensors on every entrance. Millions spent making himself unkillable. There is no way in. But Bishop does not look at the doors. He looks at the floor. Because Cook's pride and joy is a swimming pool with a glass bottom, hanging off the edge of the tower, and glass is the one thing nobody protected. Bishop rents the apartment directly underneath, secretly copies the keys, gets the building plans, and builds special charges designed to shatter glass. Disguised as a maintenance man, the most invisible person in the building, he climbs out onto the side of the tower and plants the charges on the bottom of that pool, while hanging hundreds of feet in the air. Then he waits, and when Cook takes his daily swim, admiring the city beneath his feet, Bishop presses the trigger. The glass vanishes. Cook drops 58 stories with a waterfall chasing him down. To the world, it is a freak structural failure. An accident. 2 down. Real quick, if that glass pool kill just blew your mind, tap the like button. It takes half a second, and it genuinely helps this video reach more people. Now back to it. Because Gina is about to make her move. On the next video call, she quietly tilts the camera, just for 1 second, toward the registration number painted on the boat holding her. A secret message. Come find me. Bishop tracks the vessel, drops in by helicopter, and starts silently cutting through guards. For 90 seconds, you believe he is pulling her out right there. He does not. They catch him. Crain gets in his face with a final warning. Try that again, and the deal dies, and so does she. Then he hands over the last file, and it is the worst of all. Target 3. Max Adams, an eccentric American arms dealer who bought a massive old communist monument in Bulgaria, built into a mountain. But the monument is just decoration. Hidden inside is a secret dock for submarines armed with long-range missiles. Nobody gets in. Everyone who has tried is dead. And after 2 accidents in a row, Max knows someone is working through a list. He has tripled his security and locked everything down. Bishop has 48 hours. He finds one crack. Max has a medical helicopter scheduled to fly in. Bishop hides underneath it and rides straight through the mountain's defenses. Inside, he jams the cameras and works through the security team. When guards rush Max toward his panic room, Bishop blows up the elevator, cutting off every other route and pushing Max exactly where he wants him. Max reaches the panic room, seals the armored door, breathes out, safe. Then he turns around, and Arthur Bishop is already standing inside. The one room built to keep everyone out just became the one room Max cannot escape. But then the movie flips. Bishop does not kill him. He makes him an offer. Think about it. Bishop knows Crain will never honor the deal. The moment Target 3 dies, he and Gina become loose ends. So Bishop proposes something crazy. They fake Max's death. Crain will demand to see the body, which means he will send his men off the boat to recover it. And the moment they leave, Crain is alone. And alone is exactly how Bishop wants him. Max, honestly thrilled by the scheme, agrees. And can we talk about Max for a second? This man just got assassinated and made a friend. He is having the time of his life. An explosion rips through the facility. Max plunges into the water below, where Bishop waits with a spare oxygen tank. and they slip away while the world believes Max Adams is dead. Bishop makes the call. 3 names, 3 deaths. Release Gina, and Crain, being Crain, refuses. He wants to see the body, so Bishop tells him exactly where it is. The submarine dock. Crain takes the bait and sends every man he has. What he does not know is that Bishop has turned that dock into a killing field. Explosives at every corner, every choke point. When Crain's crew walks in, Bishop springs the trap and wipes out the entire squad, while Crain watches it live on his own security cameras, helpless, screaming at screens, realizing too late that he was never the hunter. Now, the endgame. Bishop boards Crain's yacht and tears through the remaining guards, fighting toward Gina. But in the chaos, tragedy, Gina is shot, and Crain, cornered and finished, does the most cowardly thing imaginable. He triggers the boat's self-destruct. If he cannot win, nobody survives. With the countdown ticking, Bishop faces an impossible choice: chase Crain or save Gina. He chooses her. He seals the wounded Gina inside a survival pod and launches her clear, seconds before it is too late. Then he turns to finish what started when they were children. He hunts Crain through the exploding ship, and in their final brutal fight, he wraps a heavy chain around him, locking Crain to the boat itself. 30 years of hatred ends chained to a sinking tomb as the vessel erupts and disappears beneath the waves. Gina survives, but Bishop was still on that boat. From a distance, Max and his crew watch the burning wreckage being dragged from the sea. No survivors. The mechanic is gone. Or is he? Later, Gina is back in Cambodia with her rescued children, safe, free, grieving the man who saved them all. Then she turns around, and Arthur Bishop is standing right there, alive, smiling. Meanwhile, Max is going through the recovered security footage, and he bursts out laughing. In the final seconds before the blast, Bishop slipped into the boat's steel emergency room, the armored chamber built into every vessel for disasters exactly like this. He was never in the fire. He was inside the one box the fire could not touch, because that is who Arthur Bishop is. Everybody keeps burying him, and he keeps walking out of the grave. And with that perfect full circle moment, the movie ends. What a ride, right? A retired assassin dragged back for 3 impossible kills. A love story that started as a trap, and a villain destroyed by the very man he spent his whole life hating. Now, before you click away, real talk. You stayed through the prison, the pool, the mountain, the ending, all of it. Breaking a movie down like this takes hours. And if you enjoyed every second and you are still not subscribed, that genuinely hurts. 90% of you watching are not subscribed. You took the whole thing and left nothing behind. It costs you 1 second, 1 tap. So do the right thing and hit subscribe right now. Because if you do not, who is going to explain the next movie to you? Exactly. And drop a comment with 2 things. 1. Which kill was the smartest? The prison poisoning, the glass pool, or the mountain? 2. If you were Bishop, would you have trusted Max with that fake death plan? Or finished the job? I read every comment, and I pick my next movie from them. So do not leave me hanging. Smash that like, turn on the bell. Seriously, I am watching you, and I will see you in the next breakdown. Take care.